Hey guys, MountXTZ, how you guys doing? And today we have California, which oh god, we originally have some multiple dinosaur threats. We'll get to that a little later, but we're actually here on our final episode of the campaign park tours, and that is California, Jurassic World California. And as we can see, it is absolutely massive here. Like, look at all the attractions and the dinosaurs. We have over 20 plus dinosaurs in this park in itself. Let's move on here. And so yeah, I'm gonna be doing little bits, and I'll do little building tips and tricks as well, and how I built this park, and also maybe some other things that I would have not done in future parks. So this is actually built some time ago now, so this is definitely some things I wouldn't do today, but these things I used to do. Like for example, this avenue area, I wouldn't do this exactly the way I did it today, as it just looks very repetitive and just kind of looks boring and just using a lot of wasted space. So, but let's actually get to things that I would have done. And look, for example, the use of empty space, just filling it up with trees, because I like the idea of keeping things secluded. And as we know at this point, it's been a common theme on the park tours, but I always leave a little area for like a command center, and I actually have two of these. I have one here and another one over here. And oh god, I'm actually gonna have to go. I'm gonna go give me a second, guys. I really don't want to do this in the rain. It's so awful. Alright, now we're back, and the weather is finally clearing up, because Jesus Christ, took me some time to figure that out. But yeah, okay, let's move on with the rest of the thing here. So we actually have a homeless cephalid enclosure here, very small, but we actually have, I think, 12 in here, I think. Oh no, just 9. So they're very small, as you can tell. And they're very cute as well. Look at them. Look how cute they look, honestly. How can you not like a homeless cephalid at this rate? So, we then also have a brachiosaur enclosure. Now, to be honest with you, they just have enough space, and I cannot push this any further out. This is actually the maximum amount of space they could have without actually interfering with other aspects of the park. So yeah, but I like this little enclosure. I like it pretty much a lot. But another thing I would definitely do in a park like this, because it is a very big park and I had fit like quite a lot of dinosaurs in it, is to just reduce the amount of dinosaurs you have and make enclosures just way bigger than they actually need. And therefore, it just makes parks, like for example, like this enclosure, to be honest with you, I don't like it a lot because there's a lot of trees, and I wouldn't do it like this. But again, I could just turn off dinosaur needs, and then I can make park, like the little enclosures, look really good. But I do prefer keeping them on, because I like the idea that dinosaurs actually have needs in the game. So that is why I have turned them on. But you can just turn them off, and you could make way better looking enclosures than I can right here, for example. But if we move on to up here, we have another monorail. So there's actually quite a lot of monorails that go around the entire park. Understandably, of course. Like, look at this. It's insane how far. Like, let me just show you how long it takes to get from one end of the park to the other. And as you can see, it just... look at it. And there you go. It just takes so long. I had to literally do this to be able to get across places a lot faster. And actually, in this enclosure now we're going to go into is the Diplodocus enclosure, and also the Archaeopteryx minus. As you can see, they're just running around it. Also, what on earth is happening here? Look at them. They're just panicking. But they're also interrupting with our Jurassic tours here. So yeah, here's our Jurassic tour here I added in this enclosure. Because we also then have the Diplodocus as well. We have 2 of them. So we have this guy. And we have this guy as well. Look at that tail, though. That's a long-ass tail, honestly. I also like to include elevation in these enclosures. That's another build tip I would recommend as well. Is to build like elevation. Like, don't just make them flat. Like, there's like... obviously, there's logic in the idea that if you have a low point in the enclosure, that's where water should be. But also, don't, also put water up here as well. It makes kind of sense. And this is a little bit of a river here too as well. Very, like... unpredictable, but it's kind of cool actually. I do like it a lot. Got a little rock there as well, so yeah. We also have some more shops and stuff, or like restaurants. Yeah, I guess restaurants and shops really. And I hadn't had the patience to actually decorate every single one of these, but I did have one restaurant that was fully decorated, which we'll get to a little later. And we also then have a Proceratosaurus enclosure here. And yeah, I think there's like 6 in here, so a little enclosure, nothing much. And there's also the park tours go through that as well. And then we also have a dimorphodon. Oh no, a tapejara enclosure. It's actually been a while since I've been in this park actually, so there might be some incorrections there every now and then. But we'll actually now get to this mid area here. Which before we're gonna do that though, I'm actually gonna go back to this part of the park. And we're going to go to the other 2 main enclosures that we have here. So we have the Triceratops enclosure, which is actually pretty damn big. And they have way more space than they need. But we have like 10 Triceratops in here, so that's why. But look at them. I love Triceratops, honestly. They look so cool. They're just classic as well. You can't go wrong with them. You also then have the Stegoceratops as well. Or you can see there are a couple. Oh my god, there's actually so many of the Jeeps going through here. And you know why? It's because you can tell how old this park is that back then when I built this park. Wait, what the hell? Is that a Cryolophosaurus out in the wild? No, we can't have that. Just give me 1 second to detain that dinosaur back.
Contact made.
Collecting assets.
Alright, problem solved. And let's go back to our Stegosaurus's enclosure, or Stegosauri enclosure. And it's actually a pretty big one as well. And honestly, Stegosauruses are not my favorite dinosaur. I know that Evo would very much disagree with that. Please do not take too much of offense at that, please. But I do like them, and I did like their inclusion in The Lost World, so I do like them for that aspect. But they're just not my favorite dinosaurs. But I still like them, and they are in part of this park, so. And I do like the use of this kind of like high river, because this does go low a bit, and then
in progress.
It's a nice little river. I like. We have this design for a lake though. It's not the biggest lake, and I don't know if I like it or not, but I think it's kind of alright as well. You know, lakes are not my strong suit, but like rivers, I think are better for me personally. I do prefer making rivers, but that's something I would also recommend making in parks and just like your enclosures. Is just make rivers, you know. I think I talked more about this in Arizona because I remember the big enclosure that I did in that episode, and it was pretty damn big, and it had like a whole like network, so it's kind of cool. And we also have a couple of more shops in here as well. Oh, now these ones are decorated, so yeah, these are the ones I did have patience to do here. I think, yeah, these are definitely the custom ones that I did. And this is like the main entrance of the park, so you can see how it like. Let's go into like first person. So this is how you'd look. This is what you'd see when you first enter the park, and you go, wow.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
look at that. That's the big mountains, and there's a monorail, and there's hotels, and there's amber, and there's trees. And so yeah. By the way, there's probably a lot of walking to be honest to be involved, but that's why the monorails exist. And so then we actually now comfortably go into this main kind of area here. So a little couple of bits here as well. Got also like these little looking outpost areas that are just specifically made to look out into the park, as you can see, because you just get a good view. You get the good view of the lagoon there, the hotel section over there. You also get a good view of the Compsognathus enclosure, but they're so small that you can barely see them. Got some like seating areas to be able to look into the lagoon. Definitely do not swim in there. That's with a fact. But we also have, look at this though. It's a nice lagoon though, but it's only home very lonely Tylosaur. And look at it go swimming. Oh, that's a scar too. What's that about? I don't think I put any other marine reptiles in here, so that also got it himself, really. But yeah, so that's where the marine reptile is, the single Tylosaur. And we also have another like kind of like behind the scenes area, so you can kind of see it's like behind this little area here, and then you go drive through and you can have little like crates and you know, the containers and that kind of stuff. And then we also have a response facility. We have some gates, I think, just around here, I think. We have another like shopping area as well, but like a restaurant kind of area. But I don't really like this inclusion. But I like it, but also dislike it at the same time. It's a bit weird, personally. And also, I didn't have the patience to decorate it again, honestly. There are just so many of these established. Like, already at 33 of them. Yeah, there's quite a lot. And there's also, then, on this side, I forgot to mention, there's the Dryosaur as well. We have quite a few in here as well. And so, yeah, look at them. They're also very adorable as well. Very cute. And then in this enclosure, you can tell definitely something very aggressive lives here. and that is the Giganotosaurus. Now, I think, to be honest with you, because I'd already used the T-Rex in Arizona and the other bigger dinosaurs, or like the other, I guess, cooler dinosaurs, but I guess Dominion's now made the Giganotosaurus cool again as well. You have these two in here, but apart from that, I think we also add another special guest, which we will get to in a little bit if you stay tuned across in the video here. But we also then have on this side, we have the Parasaurolopuses. Now, if it was nighttime, you'd actually know that these actually glow in the nighttime. So these actually have the Lux skins on. So these actually have blue and pink coloring, which is really cool. If you haven't seen these guys in like the nighttime, they do look really cool. So I would highly recommend putting these on if you have the Camp Cretaceous DLC. That I may add, of course. And then we have a massive Avery. We actually have 3 of them, I think, or actually just 2. Actually, we have the Tapejaras over here, and then we have, I think, the Geostenberger, but one escaped clearly, and the Merodactylus. Which, oh, look at that! I like this colorway. I didn't remember seeing this like this. It's like a nice blue color. I like it actually. It's really nice. We also then have the Cryolophosaurus here. So we actually have the Lophosauruses, if you will. So we have the Cryolophosaurus here in this little area here. We then have the Dilophosaurus in this enclosure. So you can see them there. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Velociraptors as well. We actually have names for them as well. So we have Rolfa, Blaze, Pinky, and Frederick. So yeah, that's kind of fun. But we actually have the very lone Indoraptor. So there used to be 2 in here, but because they need so much space, we had to get rid of one of them. So the one that remains is this one with a blue stripe instead of gold. So yeah, that's actually kind of cool. And he's just kind of stalking across the area. He's very menacing, honestly. Look at him. He's just crawling in the water, man. It's kind of creepy, honestly. Oh, another thing I'd also would have done here as well is once again, just add that detail. Like, don't leave just empty grass like this. Although, I maybe think you could sometimes leave it like this. But, however, one thing I would also add is a cool like tip for you guys to do in your enclosures is to always add like a bank. Like, for example, the actual height of the enclosure is not at the same height as the viewing galleries, because then you actually get way better view of like the dinosaurs. So as you can see there's the Indoraptor. If we go to a much better one, like this one, you can see where the Indoraptor is. Look at him. This is as far as I can go, but look at him. You can actually see him a lot better than, let's say, if he was at height level, because, you know, it's a little harder to sometimes see animals, especially when there's like mounds as well, which there's not many here because this is already quite deep in the ground, so that is why. And I think apart from that, that is the entire park right there. And also ignore that wiggly line of a monorail. That should not be there, but we're just gonna allow it because that's how it is here. Okay, so yeah, that has been Jurassic World California. Is definitely massive, and let's just show the amount of dinosaurs that are here. So we have a total of 156 dinosaurs, and all of them are all visible, by the way, which is actually pretty good, actually pretty spot on. And we have 24 species in total, which is excluding, of course, 3 flying reptiles and 1 marine reptile, which is actually meant that's only 20 species of dinosaurs in total here. So yeah, that is actually pretty damn cool. So I'm just gonna give you another overshot of the park. So let me just hide that. There you go. Look at that. That is insanity right there. This is actually a massive park. Look where it's just set in the Yosemite mountain range here in I believe isn't this in Wyoming technically, or like Idaho, I think, if I'm not, wait, I said California. Oh my god. My man just said Wyoming. Why? I'm thinking of, wait, how does that work? Is there? I swear there's a point between Idaho and California that meet together. I swear there is. I hope you did enjoy this 5-part series of the campaign park tours. Now, this does not mean this is the end of just park tours in general, because I have way more park tours. I have way more parks that I have built, and probably do like way better than this, to be honest. Already done and ready to be shown off to the channel, and also just to give you more building tips and tricks as well on Jurassic Evolution 2. So guys, I hope you did find this video informative or enjoyable, and also if you feel like doing it and really want to help me out, you can consider subscribing. That'd really help me out as well on the channel. So guys, don't forget to take it easy, and peace.